Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to part one of our Stitch Upon a Time Calista bra, top, tunic, and dress sew along. If you are also wanting to sew the Ursula leggings, we did that over in our Facebook group, and I will make sure to link that in the descriptions here, and you can check that out over there. But if you are here for the Calista, and just the Calista, I mean, even if it's not just the Calista, I hope you have your pattern, and I hope that you have it ready and that you have your fabric all cut out and ready as well. If you don't have the pattern, I will put a link in the description as well. I'm trying to find a way, figure out how to do those boxes where someone's like, click here. I'm just not super tech savvy. I'm trying. I really am. I'm learning something new every day, but so maybe there will be a box when I say click here. I don't know. We'll see. So there are so many options for this bra. Let me just tell you what, I was super overwhelmed with all the things that I could choose. I was like, okay, do I do the cutout front? Do I do a cutout back? Do I do the strappy back? Do I do a racer back? Do I do the cut? So many different things, right? So I was just going racking my brain with what do I do? What do I do? And what I finally decided on was to do the strappy back with just a regular front. And I'm actually going to put the tunic, make it into a tunic length top instead of a bra. Now, here's why I chose to do that, because there are a couple of reasons, and I promise they're good ones. The cutout, we've done a cutout before. We did kind of like the peekaboo cutout in the Petite Stitchery Colby bra sew along. We've done the cutout for the Isla dress. This is a little different than that because you're going to line it with elastic, I believe. And it's just kind of slightly different. But there were just things where I was like, we've already done some of these techniques in some of our other sew alongs. And I was like, let's do something a little new. So I am doing something that is very intimidating to me. I'm going to be doing the strappy back. Here's why this is intimidating to me. Every time I do straps, they look awful. I'm not even exaggerating here. I don't know what it is about me and straps. We just don't like each other. So I was like, okay, we're going to face our fears and we're going to do it. So what you are going to need to cut out, depending on what options you chose, you are going to need a front in your main fabric and your lining fabric. I just did them both in the same one. I've done separates in the past, it can help you when you're sewing to remember this is the main, this is the lining. But since the main and the lining are cut out of the same pieces, I was like, I'm just going to use the same one because it's okay. I don't need to remember exactly which is which. But you can definitely do that. I notice sometimes when I do that, though, sometimes my lining will peek through just a little bit or something, and it's kind of a pet peeve. But and then you'll also need a back main and lining. And if you're making it into a top or a dress or a tunic length, you will need 2 shirt pieces, a front and a back. You are also going to need 3 8-inch elastic for the bra portion of your make. And then depending on what you're making, I think all of them need fold over elastic. So check the cut charts to know exactly what you need to cut for those. But there's that. If you are looking for a great cheap source of fold over elastic, foldoverelastic.com has, I think that's what it's called. I'll put that in the description as well. Or maybe you can click here. I don't know. Anyways, they have a really great selection for really inexpensive. That's where I got all my fold over elastic from. They're fantastic. Okay. So getting back into the Calista. What I ran into, especially when I was looking at the instructions to figure out how best to break this sew along apart, was that because there are so many options, the instructions can get very overwhelming, especially if you're like me and you're a visual learner. So hang in there with me, because there's just so much to wade through in the instructions, and I have to follow the instructions on this, or we're all going to be lost. So let's add in the sewing camera here, and then let's get started with our Calistas. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is put our back together. So if you're not doing the strappy back, there's different things you need to do, and definitely check the instructions, because if you're doing the curved back, you need to put some FOE along it, and then you need to overlap them. It's not crazy hard. It's not crazy difficult. Just the instructions are so many of them that it does kind of get to be like, where am I? All right. So what we need to do, no matter what back you're doing, is you need to put your back right sides together. Now, if you're doing the strappy back with me, what we need to do now is we need to sew from here, and then we need to sew here, and then we need to sew here. So we're just going to attach our little scoop out, our little scoops here. We're going to sew from there, sew off, sew from there. We're not going to sew all the way around, right? So these will be open still, because this is where we need to put our straps, but we're going to sew, let me make sure it's on camera here. We're going to sew here, here, and here. Okay, and it's a 1/2 inch seam allowance. If you are using a regular machine and not a serger, you're going to want to make sure to use a stretch stitch. Triple stretch, lightning, or zigzag all work excellent. So, okay, 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm just going to sew around the curve here. Making sure when you sew around the curve that you're not pulling, that you're just kind of manipulating your fabric over. So let's see if I can get it. Okay, so now the same thing on this side. My biggest concern is that if I do 1/2 inch seam allowance on both of those. Oh, we're doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I swear. I was like, if I do 1/2 inch seam allowance, that it's an inch wide strap. It's not going to work. So 1/4 inch seam allowance on this. It's okay. All right. So now you should have a piece that looks like this. Pay no mind to this side, because this one I did 1/2 inch and then I was like, oh, that's incorrect. So you're going to have a piece that looks similar to this. Okay, so where you have about, enough in there that we can stick our strap in. All right, there. Next step. Okay. Leave the strap ends and sides open. Solid front. Lay the front outer down first, and then the right. Okay. So now that we have that done, we are now going to take our front. Since I am doing the simple front, there's not too much more to do. If you're doing a curvy front, again, you'll want to put fold over elastic on the curve and then overlap them. But for just the basic straight front, we're going to put the lining and the main fabric right sides together. And then we're just going to sew right along the top of these straps here at 1/2 inch seam allowance. This one specifically says on the instructions. Well, when I looked at the instructions first at the top, it says 1/2 inch seam allowance, but it also in that instruction said 1/4 inch. So that's okay. We caught it before too. Okay, same thing for the other side. We're just going to sew 1/2 inch on this strap here. Ooh. Thought I was going to sneeze. Okay, now flip the top front section over the seam. Okay, so wrong sides together, basically. Okay, strappy back. Open out the back outer and lining and lay the back outer on top. So basically today what we're going to do is we're going to make the front and back and attach them together, and then tomorrow we're going to put the straps on, and then the next day we'll put the top part on. But okay, strappy back. Open the back outer and lining and lay the back outer on top of the front, so right sides together. Okay. So we have our front piece, right sides up. So the lining is in the back and your main fabric is on the top here, which I'm actually going to flip it like this. I just like the way the birds and stripes are on this one better. And then we're going to open up our back, pardon me, and we are going to put the back outer on top of the front outer, right sides together. So I think I'm going to do it like this because I like this. Okay. And then we're just going to make sure that this is attached. We're going to just pin these sides. Probably just, let me make sure that yeah, I'm pretty sure we pin the lining to it too. Okay, nope. Okay, so we're just going to pin the front main and the back main together. Right sides together. Okay, same thing for the other side. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Now what we need to do is flip. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I hate that. I hate that feeling. All right, flip the back lining over and toward the lining side of the front. What? Sorry. I'm very visual, so this is kind of flip the back lining over. Oh, okay. So we're not going to flip the main lining over. What we're going to do is we're going to take the back and we're going to kind of flip it like this so that our main or lining and our back lining, our front lining and our back lining now match. Sorry, I was like, what? Okay, so now I believe that we should have two separate ones, but it looks like theirs is all together. This would make it so that those seams are all enclosed. If I do it, if I put it like this, then the seams are going to be on the outside, and I'm pretty sure I don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to do it this way. All right. So now what we should have is our lining is right sides, or yeah, our lining is right sides together, and our main fabric is right sides together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew along these short edges that we pinned. Using 1/2-inch seam allowance. So just got myself my scissors. So all 4 sides here. Sorry, my husband was coming in. I'm like, hang on, I'm almost done. Okay, and then the same with the lining. So now what we should be able to do is turn everything right sides together, and those seams should be encased and closed. Okay, perfect. I think this should be like this now. And this with this. And then because the back needs its straps, find a way to fix that one so it's not quite so ornery. Burp, burp, burp. All right, so now we should have the front and the back so that the lining is attached and they create there's so many things. Okay. Don't mind me. There we go. That's better. All right, so our seams are encased and closed, and our front and our back are attached together. Okay, so I think that's where we're going to end for today, but let me just make sure. So we're pinned, turn bra right sides out. Straight strap back and racer back. That's not what we're doing. Pin the layers of the bra together around the raw edges of the armholes and neck space together. And then for strappy back, go to 26. 2, 6. Okay, so next, what they recommend doing is just going through and basting around your arms and your neck so that when you add the FOE, the fold over elastic, it's not going to want to slip around or slide around or anything like that. So you can definitely do that. But this is it for today. Tomorrow we will add our fold over elastic and we'll add our straps, and then on the last day we'll just add the top portion and we'll be done. So nice, quick, easy day. Not so crazy once you kind of wade through the instructions. I know that there's a lot because there's just so many options and it can get kind of overwhelming. So hang in there with me. We'll get this done. I will see you tomorrow when we put our straps on and our fold over elastic, and we'll have almost a finished garment. So I'll see you then. Bye.